Hi, my name is Martin Gilchrist, and I am the practice manager at Gilchrist Co Chartered Accountants. And this is post four about, or in regard to, the story of how Gilchrist Co um, was started from scratch and grew over the years to be the very successful professional practice it is today. The title of this series of podcasts is called Cubicle to Campervan. And that represents how we moved from being employees working within other corporate organizations to having the financial freedom and the free time to purchase and enjoy traveling around and working from our Volkswagen camper van. A dream that Michelle and I had for many, many years. And in this particular podcast, I'm going to talk about how, even before you start the business, so the last time we talked about how you need to understand yourself, the type of person that you are, and why you might want to start another business, not other people, why other people might think you should, or why you might be obliged to, but why is it that the person that you are wants to start a business? That's what we talked about the last time. Now we're talking about why, and I should reiterate, I'm not coming at this saying that I'm an expert. All we're doing here is telling the story of what Michelle and I did in Gilchrist Co. And therefore, maybe not everything I'm saying is the best way to do it. You know, maybe we made mistakes, and I'm sure we made many mistakes along the way, but we got there in the end. And this is just telling the story of how we did it. And hopefully there'll be some tips or information or insights that might be of use to you if you're thinking about starting your own business, or maybe you're already in business and you're coming across the same things. You're just a little bit behind us in relation to where you are in the development of your business. So after working out who you are, the next thing is to work out, what is the business going to feel like? Not what is the business practically going to do, not what is the machine of the business and what it's going to stamp out or what it's going to produce or what it's going to provide as a professional service. What is it you want that business to feel like? And in order to do that, you have to paint. What we did was we painted in our mind's eye a mental picture of the business. As a matter of fact, we went through a series of potential outcomes, potential situations that our business could result in. So in our mind's eye, we looked at things like, what would it feel like if Gilchrist Co became a large corporate practice with a city centre skyscraper office, maybe in London or New York or Madrid or any of these places, full of staff, and we were high-flying corporate executives. What would that have felt like? What would it have been like walking into the office in the morning? What would the first job we would have to do on a Monday morning be? What would it be like sitting at Wednesday lunchtime in the centre of New York or London or Belfast? Who would we be talking to? Who would we be interacting with? What would we be saying to them? How would we be saying it? What would our responsibilities be? And what would it be like to carry those responsibilities? We pictured all of those in our minds. We pictured what the table would look like, what the chair would feel like, what the view from the window would be, who the receptionists and junior accountants and senior accountants and clients would be, what the expectations would be on us. We really went through and teased out, what would that life be like? Then we went completely the other way. We went and said, right, okay, what would it be like to be a digital nomad? What if we set up Gilchrist Co as a digital nomad practice, which we could well have done because of modern technology and the way that cloud-based accounting works and the way that our potential clients work? What if we were working from the other side of the world in Thailand or Australia or New Zealand or um, even, not even necessarily the other side of the world. What if we're working in County Down from our camper van? What if we're working from a desert island beach with palm trees and drinking rum from coconuts? Would that suit us? So we played that over in our minds. Who would we be working with? How would we be working with them? How would we engage? What would a Tuesday morning a year after starting that business feel like? What would happen at the holidays? Where would we live? How would we live? How much money would we earn? What would we do with that money? And then we went, right, okay, so that's the digital nomad life, that's the corporate high-flying executive life. What about if we set up a business where we work from co-working spaces using hot desks? Again, mull that all over our minds. But eventually the vision that we set upon was because we realized none of them, those previous mind maps or visualizations fitted what we were under the who and why tests that we'd applied. And we realized where we wanted to work and what we wanted was a cottage industry for the modern age. And in our mind's eye, we actually had a cottage in the County Down countryside with roses round the door and one of those half doors that you go through. And when you went in, it was a stone floored kitchen with a massive hearth and a Arger and a big rustic kitchen family table. And one end would be our high-end PCs where we'd be running the latest top-end accounting technology and providing accounting services to our clients at the very highest level of our ability as true professionals. Almost like a cross between professionals and artisans. But at the same time, having that traditional, I know we don't have it anymore, but what we used to imagine was that family GP. How well do we know our clients? Do we have those personal relationships with them? Are we so comfortable in ourselves that we have the time to spend with people and want to spend it with people, um, helping them and supporting them to grow their businesses? And we kept that picture of a cottage industry in the mind in the modern age in our mind's eye as the light and the direction when things got dark or difficult, or where we had a multitude of choices and it was difficult to see which one we should take and how we should react. And if you have that visualization, even though that doesn't seem to make sense in relation to, well, that's how do you use a cottage industry for the modern age and roses around the door to plan a business, to write a business plan, it's not about writing the business plan. It comes later. It's about knowing for certain that the business you are planning suits the person that you are and that you will be able to fight the hard fights when they come, that you will have the grit and the determination to continue when everything else says you should stop, that you will have the courage to stand up for your decisions and take responsibility, because that's one of the most important things. You must be able to take responsibility when the time comes. And when you know where you're going and what you're doing it for, you will be willing to take responsibility. And when you've got that grit and determination and the willing to take responsibility and to work hard and to do what needs to be done to get you to the place where you know because you've thought about it, teased out where you need to go to, what that does is it builds credibility. Because people will see that you take responsibility, that you're honest and you're straightforward and you're hardworking and you're reliable, that you take responsibility. And if you're seen as a person that takes responsibility for your actions, you'll grow credibility. Credibility leads to conversations, and conversations lead to opportunities. It all fits together. Work out who you are and work out what you, in your mind's eye, want to be doing. Paint a picture of what it is you believe your business should be, and then everything else, including the business plan, can flow back from that. And that's what we'll talk about the next time. So how did we actually start? We did a lot of thinking about what Gilchrist is going to be. How did we actually start it? We'll look at that in the next session. If you've been watching these and you're thinking this is very interesting, Martin, but I think I could tell you something different, please get in touch and let me know. If you think you could add to the story, please get in touch and let me know. And if you'd like to come on and have one of these conversations with me, please come on and let me know. That's enough for now, folks. Thank you very much, and I look forward to catching up with the next one.